Lexington this season as the Kentucky Wildcats look to send their seniors off with a win in their last time competing inside historic Memorial Coliseum this year. But standing in their way, it is a hungry Arkansas squad eager to prove they belong in this year's SEC Championship. 9 teams in this league, only the top 8 are going to Birmingham. And right now the Razorbacks are 9th on this list by a slim margin. For them, tonight is more than just a win or a loss. For both teams, it is all about that final score, and every 10th will matter. Glad you're with us here for some exciting Friday Night Heights. I'm Maggie Davis, joined by the former Kentucky head coach, Leah Little. And when we say every 10th matters, we know this meet, it's more true than any other.
I'll tell you what, it's so important right now. The SEC is bringing the drama right now. We're building excitement towards the postseason. All of these teams are in the top 16 in the country, but one of them is going to stay at home. This is the first time to qualify to the SEC Championship. It's a big night, big weekend for everybody.
Well, Arkansas head coach Jordan Weber told us this week they have more fire within us this week than they ever had to take advantage of this opportunity. They need the freshman, Jocelyn Robertson, to take advantage.
She's been outstanding for the Razorbacks this year as a freshman coming in and just making her point. She's got some outstanding difficulty, and she'll be a great one to watch tonight in the all-around.
Yes, back in the all-around this week after not competing on vault a week ago tonight. For Kentucky, as we said, it's senior night. 6 gymnasts competing one final time here in Memorial.
I tell you, this group of 6 seniors for Kentucky has really done an outstanding job in elevating the program. We have All-Americans this group. We have groups that have, or athletes that have scored 10s. They are just outstanding group of seniors.
And collectively, they have helped post some monster numbers for the Wildcats this year. Kentucky has scored over a 197 in 6 of its last 7 meets, including the last 5 and every single home meet this season. So as we look to the big picture, not just the win or the loss tonight, but the big picture, that national qualifying score, aka the NQS, that's what's going to be the most important for both of these squads. Scores needing to improve that NQS. We'll go through all the specifics with you tonight, but these are the big picture numbers we are keeping an eye on. Arkansas 195.875, Kentucky a 197.050. They'll get their first chance to start making their way toward that mark coming up here in Lexington. Welcome back into Lexington. It is 9th ranked Kentucky, 16th ranked Arkansas going head to head here on senior night. For the Razorbacks, here's head coach Jordan Weber in her 6th season now. Hard to believe with this program. You might recognize her otherwise from being a member of the Fierce Five, won a gold medal at the 2012 Olympic Games in London. She's a USA Gymnastics Hall of Famer, and she was hired to lead the Gymbacks when she was just 23 years old. We asked her this week how she's grown, how she's changed since then. We'll tell you that later. That's a tease. And in the meantime, how about a little Tim Garrison talk for you? He is tried and true in this league. 14 seasons now in this ever-changing SEC, and this year he once again has a group of Wildcats competing for the very top of a very, very talented SEC. As his team gets going tonight, they will start on vault as the home team, while the away group will begin on the bars. And first up in Kentucky's vault lineup is one of those seniors being recognized tonight on senior night. It is Miss Jillian Prakaski. She had her first vault of the year last week, her first time competing all around this year. She won a 9.85 here on the vault. And her head coach told us this week she had been working her way into this lineup for more than a month. She knew before the coaching staff knew the opportunity would be here for her on this vault. For this team this year, she wanted to be ready to take advantage of the moment, and that's exactly what she did last week, meaning she once again gets to be in this leadoff spot for the Cats on her senior night.
Jillian had some injuries last year she had to overcome, so she wasn't her full competitive self throughout the season, but she has been back in the all-around, and look at that stick. Way to start it off for the Wildcats.
Jillian, a Yurchenko full.
Again, the runoff entry, Yurchenko, beautiful legs tightly together and a perfect landing, not one single balance error in that. Now that's a stick.
You cannot ask for much more from your leadoff. For the Razorbacks, they'll be looking for a stick as well. In order to help her with that, coaching staff has added an additional mat, so pay attention to how she performs this dismount. It's Jocelyn Robertson for the first time tonight.
Again, we talk about requirements on the uneven bars. Here they have to do transitions from the high bar to low bar, which you've seen her do already. Very nice routine she's got going, setting up for the double layout, I believe. And there we go.
And it's a stick for Jocelyn Robertson. Her coaches told us they knew she could do it, but she'd been struggling to get it done in a meet. Tonight, no problems.
I tell you, 2 great routines to start this meet off, and it's going to be on fire. So let's watch that dismount again.
Beautiful. They told us that she'd cleaned up so much and on the bar, such high quality, but wanted her to get that stick. Her head coach double high-fiving her over here. Up next for Kentucky, Cecily Rizzo. Once again in the 2 spot for the Cats, expecting another full here, a 995 start value.
Oh, very nice ball. When we watch the replay on that, I want the fans to look at her height off the table when she blocks, which enabled her to complete the twist. Just a little hop of the landing. Just a little more control on that, but watch her block right there. Up she goes, beautiful twist, legs together. Just a little hop, but that's gonna be a nice score for Kentucky.
We are off to the races here in Lexington. We told you every 10th was gonna matter in this one, and both teams competing like that so far. You will see those scores come in on the right side of your screen. Remember, 6 gymnasts compete each event. Top 5 scores count. Up next for the Razorbacks, it's the junior, Callie Swaney.
Callie had a good routine last week with a 9.725. Let's see if she can increase that score to help her team. Waiting on the judges. Sometimes there's a long wait for the athletes if there's a discrepancy on scores. Looks like they're talking about something, but I think we're about ready to go now.
Green flag is up. Callie is off to the races.
All right, so let's look for those things we talked about that are requirements, the transition from bar to bar. And I think you'll see it here. She keeps it going. There's 2 transitions from low bar to high bar with a pec salto. Also, they must have a turn. They must have release moves. And there's another nice dismount for the Razorback. Good for Callie. Okay, let's look at that bar transition again from low to high. Toe on release move, and then she keeps swinging. Here's the sit up for the dismount. Just watch for that position we talk about in the air.
Mackenzie Wilson, the senior, has had a 10 here before. What will she do on senior night?
Whoa. Whoa, what a fantastic vault there. She has scored a 10 on this. She had tremendous height off the table, so let's see if she's got a chance to get it tonight.
Here's the replay. Coach Garrison told us to look for amplitude here, Leah. Did you see enough?
I did see enough. I'd like to have seen her chest come up a little sooner on that turn like now. But again, that's a small deduction, if any.
We will keep you updated on her score as soon as it comes in. We do know how Jillian Prokaski's in at a 9.875. Jocelyn Robertson a 9.85 to start this meet off.
All right, well, we said we were going to have a barn burner, so I think we got it going.
So far, so good. And looking to keep it going, it's Caitlin Ewald. Now, Miss Katie is a senior from Newburgh, Indiana. She's an Illinois transfer. She had a season high last meet at 9.875. The Razorbacks had 2 season highs or more on every single apparatus last week. An incredible meet for them. They're looking to replicate on the road.
And we're looking for things on vault. We want to look for that release move to be above the bar. Hers was about bar level. No deductions, but the really great ones are above the bar. A little short on that handstand.
Just the dismount. This is new for her this year.
Double layout. Again, not the strong layout position I'd like to see all the way around in both flips. But a nice routine there. for Jaeger. Watch your form there all the way around. Actually, looked better in slow-mo to me, so I think it was a good dismount.
Mackenzie Wilson's came in at a 9.925. Here's Isabella Magnelli, same vault, and another stick. Another senior who has been just absolutely consistent for Kentucky in this vault lineup.
Pop off the table, nice turn, legs together with a stick. You know, this is their last competition in the historic Memorial Coliseum. I know they want to go out big. So those seniors are going to be on fire tonight.
Well, we have a couple of season highs already on the board for both teams. For Kentucky, Jillian's 9.875, and for Arkansas, Callie's 9.825. Priscilla Park up next for the Razorbacks. Sophomore out of Atlanta. Such an interesting story. We had the chance to talk to her head coach, Jordan Weber, about this week. She's been managing some back issues her entire career. So it's nothing new for her, but it is something the coaching staff keeps a very close eye on. And yet she's such a perfectionist. It's hard to ask her to limit her practice reps. The coach said if she doesn't stick a dismount, she wants to do 1,000 more of them. Sometimes less is more, but she has
Watch her
gorgeous
dismount.
handstands.
She has a very unusual dismount called the Ray. Very nice. Release the low bar. Return. I think she can improve upon her score from last week. She was just a little bit off. So nice routine. There's the Ray, the Pike to Kachev. Good job for the Razorbacks. Think she'll improve on that score from last week.
Well, now it's a freshman's turn to show what she's got on senior night. Here comes Ryan Noonan. She will not be too excited about that one, Leah. What went wrong on that vault for
Well,
Ryan?
I would love to have seen it again. We didn't get the replay, but she looked a little relaxed in her shoulders on, you know, on her release from the from the table. I'm sorry.
Well, this is a freshman.
But she changes direction in her vault, which is hard to land. So just a little too early.
Well, we see the scores already in for the two seniors who went before her. Mackenzie Wilson with that 9.925, Isabella Magnelli at 9.95. You think that Ryan's score will be the one they want to drop, but they do have another senior on the other end of that lineup, sandwiching the freshman there in the middle. So we'll see what Skylar turns in for Kentucky. But first, we go to Maddie Jones. Now, she also one of those season highs last week at 9.925 here on the bars.
Watch this release move. Pike to Kachev, beautiful.
Hangs on.
Beautiful. This is really a nice routine she's got going here. She will finish with a double layup.
She stuck this cold last week. And she does it again. Maddie Jones, what a routine by the senior.
She went 9.925 last weekend. I think she's going to better that score. But again, watch this release move. In a pike position, you don't see that too often. It's more difficult. And then there's the layout. All the way around.
Last vault for Kentucky. It's Skylar Kilo-Wilhelm.
Tkachev 1.5. Very difficult 10-0 start value, and that was close to perfect. We'll see what they'll do on that landing. If it's a deduction, it's very small. See what she does. Moved her foot just a tiny bit. You know, the thing about this is a perfect example. When these teams are all on the same floor together at SEC championships, a teeny-weeny little mistake like that, they're going to deduct it. Where in regular season, they may let that slide. But you've got to differentiate between these teams that are all in the top 16 in the country.
Well, Maddie Wallagora knows all about sticks and performing at the highest level. The 6-year senior transferred to Fayetteville this year. She just said she had more to give to this sport. She had one more year of eligibility, wanted to use it under head coach Jordan Weaver. Her season high here is a 9.95.
Well, she's capable of that. Let's see what she turns out this weekend.
Either way, Arkansas is going to have a monster bar
Beautiful
score.
release. I think Arkansas went 49-2 last weekend. I think they're going to be better than that.
Double
After
layout.
this routine, very nice.
All business for the Razorbacks.
I think Coach over there is going to have a heart attack. I'm so
Assistant
excited.
coach Chris Brooks.
That was
He
a
is
very nice routine. Look at
primary
this
bars
release.
coach, and man, he just
Above
brings
the bar,
energy.
way above the bar, just what we're talking about. I'd like to see that in a little tighter position, but beautiful dismount above the bar, stick. Now watch our coach here, Chris. He's happy.
He brings the energy and the technique. Here's an exhibition for Kentucky.
All right. It's a good ball for an exhibition routine.
It's Carly Bush, freshman.
Again, we talk about these exhibition routines being an opportunity for someone new to get in the lineup, an opportunity for coaches to see who their backup players are and if they want to change their lineups before championships.
Well, here's another freshman who will get some meet experience here in Lexington. It's Juliana Weeks out of Charlotte. Still waiting on Maddie Wallagora's score to come in, but so far, to drop a 9.825, Razorbacks not counting anything under a 9.85 right now. That's going to be an incredible score for them on that first apparatus. And check out Kentucky's as well. They do, in fact, drop Ryan Noonan's 9.675. And they've got a 49.425 on the vault right now. I believe that will be a season high for the Wildcats.
I think that score for Wilhelm was a little low. It was close to perfect vault, except that little tiny balance step she took on the landing. But we have to take what we get. Another Pike Jaeger, or Tkachev, sorry. Whoa, mistake there. That's too bad. You know, sometimes you can get just a little too much, and it only takes about 10% over the handstand, and you're gone. So you got to be right up on there.
And that's why it's important to get experience like this in an atmosphere like this. Memorial Coliseum seats about 6,000 fans. It's loud in here. The music is loud. And the crowd just adds a little extra juice to it. She will be able to resume that routine if she wants, even though it is still an exhibition. That experience is valuable.
You know, competing in front of a large crowd, they're going to see it the whole rest of the way in the postseason. There's not going to be any empty arenas, that's for sure. And you've got the cheering behind each of these teams. It's going to be very loud. It's too bad, that mistake. That was a nice routine.
49 fours or better for both teams so far to start this meet. Kentucky, 6 seniors on this roster leading the way.
Top Gun original, Top Gun Maverick. My favorite singer is Luke Combs. Sorry, Mary Lou, but Bart Connor. The 84 Olympic Games did it for me. My favorite song is Return to the Mac by Mark Morrison.
And now you know, head coach Tim Garrison in the house tonight. He has 6 seniors on this roster. They got his team off to a hot start here in Lexington, a half-10th lead over the visiting Razorbacks as we move to rotation 2. We saw a few of the seniors on the vault. We will see all 6 of them tonight. Here's a little bit more about what that class is bringing to the table.
Senior leadership is incredibly important, especially when you have 6 freshmen.
It's really important for the upperclassmen to be able to lead as an example, keeping up the energy, allowing this young team to really understand who Kentucky is and how we compete.
Isabella McNally, she's a huge leader.
She talks to the entire team, and she talks loud.
I would say my leadership style is keeping energy, being positive, and also just being there for my teammates whenever they're having a rough day or having a good day.
As a freshman or a sophomore, it's hard to try and find those leadership roles because you are considered underclassmen, but on this team, whether you're a freshman or a senior, it really doesn't matter.
I think the entire senior class, we are all great leaders. We also have a 5th year, Skylar. She's been a great addition to this team.
Everybody has their own personality and their own way that they step into the leadership role.
This year I've really tried to step into the leader role of being vocal and trying to help the underclassmen.
What separates Kentucky from everybody else is obviously our unwavering support for each other.
Something that I'm really good at is just providing encouragement.
There's a sense that something needs to change from the individuals, and I think they've recognized it for one, and then they've stepped into those roles in their own ways.
Here are those 6 senior gymnasts competing tonight for Kentucky. As I said, we will see all of them at some point. Coming up here in this second rotation, we'll see Annie Reiger for the first time on the bars. Tonight will be just one of the 4 seniors competing in rotation 2 for Kentucky. This group has really been leading the way. They've also been pranking their way through this week. We'll tell you a little bit more about that as the meet goes on and we get into this next rotation. We'll also get to see Frankie Price for the first time as Arkansas heads to the vault. And Skylar Killer-Wilhelm looks to anchor another event.
Just does it so well.
It's top-notch excellence every single time.
Big time gymnastics here.
That was amazing.
My goodness.
Human attitude.
There's no resting in the SEC.
Do it, do it, do it, do it. You can do it. Watch me move up, down, side to side.
It's the best of the best, and it just keeps getting better. We are building toward that postseason. SEC championships coming up, can you believe it? Just a couple weeks from now in Birmingham, Alabama, where 8 of the 9 SEC teams get the chance to compete for a title. All 9 teams right now ranked in the top 16. So every team fighting for a chance to compete, not only for that championship, but also for one additional road score that could help them qualify for nationals. As we get toward this second rotation, we'll continue to keep an eye on the benchmarks that both teams need to hit to stay on track for that coveted 197 or better. Here on vault, it's Cammie Weaver, the junior.
Very nice vault to open for the Razorbacks. I think we'll take a peek at it again.
You notice that knee brace Cammie wears. It's a Yurchenko full. She used to do a 1.5 here. This is better for her body. She does it very well.
Very well. Again, look for the distance away from the table. And it was a very nice vault. Isabella Ravelli up for Kentucky. Here's her release. Oh. That's too bad for their start-off person. She just released before she was all the way up on her flight before the release. You kind of ride that up. Just let go a little early. Right there, just a tiny bit early. Look at.
We say tenths matter, but absolutely millimeters matter too. And Isabella feeling that right now, as we saw for Arkansas on this event as well. She is able to resume that routine. Of course, there will be a deduction.
Okay, she repeated that, and you can see that was very nice. So we'll get a deduction for repeating. And the double layout. You know, when you make a mistake or have a fall, a big one, you've got to get back up there and just finish strong. You never know if you have to count that score. Little leg separation on that double layout. Nice routine if she could have caught that release move.
So a 9.85 sets the table for Arkansas on the vault. Jilly Lang looks to keep it rolling. She matched her career high last week with a 9.9. This is also a full stuck it cold last week. Small hop this week, but nicely done.
Yep, little hopper there, the landing. She's dancing it off. But a nice vault. Nice position in the air. She opens up and just a little jump back. Just got to get that chest up. I really like our well-dressed guys over there with the, I can't tell if they're with Kentucky guys. They're Secretariat checkered jackets, I guess. I think our guys could get a shot of that. We got Annie Reichert up on bars for Kentucky. Another one of these seniors that's made a big impact.
She's been in this lineup twice this year. You know she has to be feeling every moment of it right now, last time in Memorial.
Big release. Bail the handstand there.
The dismount.
Pirouette to the dismount. Double tuck. All right, let's look at that release. The blind, just a little close. She pulled in on that, but she was able to hang on.
Gritty is a word Coach Garrison has used so much with us this season. A gritty response there by Annie to hang on to the bar, and to hang on to that dismount as well. She knows they need to count her score. Now competing for the Razorbacks, it's Dakota Essen-Price.
4.5 there. I think that'll be a good score for the Razorbacks. Again, let's look at it.
Check the block here.
Yep. Bent her arms just a little bit and left her head back on that twist. You look at her little bent arms there, block out.
It's interesting, this Arkansas lineup has had much more success, or at least a degree of success with those Yurchenko folds. They've often outscored their 1.5s this season. Obviously a lower degree of difficulty, but they've been landing them clean, performing them well in the air. It's a coaching decision at some point.
It is, and that's the thing about higher difficulty. You take a risk because it is a higher value, and that's consistency. You do them over and over. There's those guys in those jackets. I love it. But over and over and over again, repetitive, so you don't make those mistakes. So sometimes you have to back them down if they're not doing it every time, because as we said, a 10th or 2 is going to decide the national championship this year.
Well, Jillian Prokaski back in the bars lineup for Kentucky. This is her premier event. She's gone all around for the Cats this year. We don't expect her to do that tonight, but we do know she expects a lot out of herself on this specific event.
Jillian's a good competitor. She's very serious about how her approach to things. You know, a lot of gymnasts are very methodical about things they do. Again, that consistency and repetition. Jillian preparing for the dismount. These giants. The giant is what gives you the momentum for your dismount. Double layout. Small step. And there's her fat head in the crowd. I love it. You know, the gymnastics fans are really learning now that they can scream and yell, and it used to be kind of quiet because you thought they were going to mess up the athletes, but now it's wild sometimes. That Auburn fan base, they get into the floor routines. It's just really fun now.
Well, Haley Klein has a lot of fun on this event. She's one of those season highs, a 9.9 last week. Here's her 1.5.
Nice ball. Nice ball. Just a lot of forward momentum. Cost her to take that step, but excellent vault. And look at her distance away from the table. Round off, the block, the twist, the landing.
Razorbacks started off this rotation with a pair of 9.85s. We'll get you Dakota and Haley's score as soon as we have them. Still waiting on Annie Reigert's as well for Kentucky, but we can say that is now in as a 9.75. Jillian Prokaski a 9.85. So we see the scores building for Kentucky. They have to have that happen here. You cannot count that 9.25. You need everybody else to stay on the bars.
That's right. And not just stay on the bars, but do excellent executed routines. No breaks, no mistakes. At this point in the season, you hope that your team is at that point where they've had enough chances in different meets. Beautiful release by Haley, another senior for Kentucky.
Well, Haley is certainly at that point. She had her career best out of all 5 years at Kentucky. Last week was her best. Her coach thinks she can still do better this
See
week.
if she can finish with the dismount stick, because it was a great routine. Oh, shoot. Well, that's too bad for Haley, because it was a beautiful routine.
It was.
Let's look at the release again. Way above the bar. And then let's look at the dismount. What happened there? Good, nice body position. Just over-rotated a little bit. Couldn't get her balance there.
You know Haley's a leader on this team when she's smiling with that dismount and then immediately mouths sorry to her head coach. Nothing to be sorry about. That'll still be a good score for Haley.
This is Roberson here again. Let's look at her vault. She does a different vault with a 10-0. The round off entry, half.
She rested vault last week, so this is Jocelyn's first time back on the vault in 2 weeks. Her coach said she looked great in practice. You see the step there on the landing, but other than that, pretty solid vault by Jocelyn.
Yeah, I think, Coach, they're going to be able to get her in the all-around for postseason. She's been a big help this year to them as a freshman. You know, when you have your freshmen come in and they make impact, that's a huge impact for your program.
Well, Haley Davis' score is in for Kentucky on the bars. It is a 9.8.
This is Delaney Rodriguez, a sophomore, and she's been a big impact on this Kentucky team. She's normally an all-arounder, but not tonight. Just a little bit short. Nice release. There we go. That was a nice handstand. Overshoot bail to handstand. The transition again. There we go.
Those legs were glued together by D-Rod. Her teammates pumped up for the sophomore. First time we've seen her tonight, and she is making the most of it.
Nice release there. Let's look at the dismount. Above the bar on the first turn. Very nice. She knew it. I love their faces when they know it.
We are having some trouble getting scores to you on the screen. We can tell you Jocelyn Robertson had a 9.85. Here's Frankie
Watch this
Price.
vault.
Wow.
She has an incredible vault. She wasn't quite her best right there, but it's still, it's high, it's long. Position is always good. Just a little hopper tonight, but this vault is pretty amazing. Look how high she is above the table.
Delaney Rodriguez posts a 9.9 on the bars, has her head coach clapping over here on the sidelines. That matches her season high, and it's much needed for Kentucky. They hadn't hit that 9.9 mark yet. They'd like to see Skylar Killer-Wilhelm do the same thing here in the anchor spot.
Very nice release. You know what? Another thing you want to see on the uneven bars is the constant movement. There shouldn't be any pauses or stops in the routine. That was a hit routine for Killer-Wilhelm.
And the streak continues for the Wildcats. Kentucky, one of only 6 schools in the nation, did not have to count a fall this
Way
year.
above the bar. Look at that.
Once again, the rest of the lineup coming up clutch, including their go-to anchor, Miss Skylar.
Again, way above the bar. Beautiful body position to a stick. She was happy with that, as was her teammates.
That
celebration.
fifth-year senior experience absolutely paying dividends for Kentucky. Always tough when you have to exclude that first score, your leadoff spot being the score you want to drop, puts so much pressure.
995 by one judge, 995 for Killer.
Skylar the Killer is the nickname she's earned here in Lexington, and that killer mentality once again coming up clutch for Kentucky to finish this rotation on a strong note. We do have one more to show you though here on the bars. It is Ryan Newton. Once again, you saw her on the vault. Now you will see her as an exhibition routine on the bars. So Kentucky's bar team score is in as a 49-5. That matches Arkansas's vault score that's in currently, but we are still waiting on Frankie Price's score.
$49-2 is Kentucky's NQS on the bars, so they equaled that tonight. Arkansas
Newton having a little bit of a rough go of it here, head coach though with some words of encouragement. Looks like she will resume this exhibition. If at home you are looking for more scores than what we're able to show you on the screen right now, listen up, we got you. I'll go down Arkansas first. It's a 985 for Weaver, a 985 for Lang, a 985 for Essen Price. Guess what? A 985 for Klein and a 985 for Robertson right now. All these scores, Frankie Price. You'll never believe it. A 985 just came in for her as well. So that brings their team score to a 49-5.
We have a computer stick over there, I think.
Well, we've gotten plenty of sticks so far through these first two rotations, and hopefully more to come here in Lexington. We're halfway home on Friday Night Heights. Kentucky with a slight, and we do mean slight, lead here in Lexington after two rotations. But we have a couple of heavy hitter routines on deck, including Jocelyn Robertson, the freshman all-arounder, getting ready to go on her signature 2 events where she stunned the home crowd last week with her scores. Check this out.
The decision that led to coming to Arkansas was just everything wrapped into one. It felt like home.
It's been a dream of hers to be here at Arkansas.
My favorite gymnast growing up was Jordan Weaver. Having her as a coach is so surreal. That's my idol.
She's my Arkansas.
Jocelyn is so fun to coach. She loves gymnastics. She's incredibly talented, but also just a great teammate. She's always had that team-oriented mindset.
And she brings such energy and enthusiasm.
She wants to be the best that she can be.
When she hits the floor, everybody gathers round. She's the sweetest thing that ever hit town. If you ever see her, oh, you be Arkansas bound.
She loves being a part of this program, and I have no doubt she's going to help us get to greatness.
She's my Arkansas.
Such an awesome relationship between Jocelyn and her head coach, and the freshman Razorback is indeed following in her head coach's footsteps. Jordan Weaver went to Tokyo in 2011 and became the world team champion. Jocelyn earned that same title in 2023. I mean, her resume is unbelievable for someone her age. The things she accomplished at the elite level. She was an alternate at the Olympics. She actually won the beam at Olympic trials, and she has just made the transition to college nearly seamlessly. She had a 9.925 on the beam last week and a 9.975 on the floor, and she is just upping the ante every time she goes out there. She's coming up next here in Lexington, getting comfortable on the road. We'll also see Maddie Jones 4 season highs last week. She hit a 9.9 as well. And how about the beam queen, Isabella Magnelli, one last time in Memorial.
My favorite TV show growing up was Grey's Anatomy. My favorite vacation destination is going back home to see my family in Michigan. This is really cheesy, but my favorite singer is Celine Dion.
Nothing wrong with a little Celine Dion love from the Arkansas head coach. And we told you at the top of the show, she's in her 6th year now with the Razorbacks. It's unbelievable, but she was hired to take over this program when she was only 23 years old. Jordan did not compete collegiately, of course. She was an elite gymnast and an international gymnast, went to the Olympics, went to the Worlds, an all-around champion, a Hall of Famer in every single regard, but she didn't actually compete NCAA. But here's the deal, she has so much experience since then, she's learned so much since then, first with UCLA as an assistant volunteer coach, and now 6 years in Fayetteville. We told you up top, she has learned so much since she was hired at just 23 years old. She told us this week if she could talk to that 23-year-old right now, she would reassure her it just gets better and better every single day, and that watching this program grow would turn into such an honor. And that comes across in the way she speaks, not just about her gymnasts and her assistant coaches, but really the responsibility to lead the program and get it on track. She's certainly done that in the past 6 years, and she's right there again this year on the cusp of another SEC championship run. If they can post a high score tonight, they're on pace for that 197. Here's Delaney Rodriguez for Kentucky in the leadoff spot. She's been here every single meet this year.
Delaney's really been a go-to competitor for the Wildcats, coming in as a freshman and making a name for herself. Nice triple flight series there. You know, I really like that the athletes are able to pick their music on beam now and help them relax a little bit.
Delaney doesn't need too much help in that regard. She is the most laid-back, low-key gymnast on this team. Her coach says that's what makes her perfect for this position.
You know, an anchor you can count on, that's the one that started off and make a routine every week.
That was a beautiful, beautiful routine by Delaney.
Back handspring, back layout, perfectly done. And here is the dismount. Round off, 4.5. Stuck. All right.
Great start for Kentucky. How will the Razorbacks start off rotation number 3? Well, it is Callista Gamiao, the senior out of Honolulu. And this is an electric routine, one of those really exciting 3-pass routines we don't always see in collegiate gymnastics anymore. Check this out. It is hard from the beginning until the very end.
That was a double pike. It was huge. I think she was so high she had a little bit trouble landing it, but that was a huge double back. She's got good, powerful music. It always makes it a little better. She was out of the screen. She was so high.
That's when you know you're doing a good job.
That's
now,
right.
The Razorbacks have been so solid on floor this year, and this event is where they pulled off a 4th rotation comeback over Florida. Of course, that was a big one on their resume, a big NQS score. A 49.450 is what they were able to post against the Gators. We'll see what they post tonight.
That was a big win for them and certainly unexpected and showed that they're very capable.
Callista had a 9.85 here last week, and somehow that was the score they were able to drop.
Wow.
Did not have to count below a 9.9.
Double tuck, the finish. Coach Weaver over here in the corner seemed to like that one.
Great start by Callista Gamiao on the
routine.
floor. Such a fun routine, and like you said, a lot of height from Miss Callista.
There we go. Double pike, huge. I think she surprised herself a little bit. She got up there. It's a little trouble on those landings, but boy, her tumbling passes are huge. So coach talking to her there about how to stick those landings next time.
A 9.875 in the leadoff spot for Delaney sets up the rest of this lineup very nicely. Crestline Bros will look to take advantage here. The sophomore and a real performer on the beam and the floor.
So much personality in everything she does. Her punch front is just amazing. That's like textbook perfect. It's high, the landing was great. There's the front toss to the back handspring. You know, I have to get this quote in from Samantha Prasek that you talk about how hard beam is. She said when she was competing as an Olympian that she prayed to God every night that he would take beam away as a gymnastics event. So,
as a spectator, I hope he does not, because how beautiful is it when it's done like this?
You are right. When they do beam like they're on the floor, it can be just really amazing. I always say there's beam workers and then there's people that just do beam. So it's a big difference. Crestline's showing us a great example of somebody that knows how to work beam. So, tiny little step there on the dismount. 2 in a row for the Wildcats.
Let's take
look at the
another look.
dismount.
This punch front is stunning every week. This one particularly gorgeous,
It is.
Leah.
It is. She's just right up there. And then here's her dismount. She almost had it just lean back a little bit.
Haley Klein starts a foursome in this lineup that all had season highs last week. Klein, Jones, Walagora, and Robertson all went career bests. Let's see how they replicate it now on the road. Gamiao posted a 9.775 in the leadoff spot.
I like Arkansas's music. It's powerful, exciting. You know something good is coming. Very nice front to double tuck. Combo pass, she'll get bonus for that. Again, I want to tell the fans, you know, you got to look for more than just the tumbling passes, because here comes one. They have leap connections, and sometimes those aren't all the way around 360 or a double if they're doing it, and those are deductions. So even though it looks good, great athletes have a way to cover that. Getting ready for her next pass. Front layout, front full. Good routine there for the Razorbacks. Let's look at her leap series. We were talking about connection bonus. There's the switch side, and then to a split half. To front layout, front full.
Sharon Lee on the beam now for Kentucky, the sophomore. And the music has gone out here in Memorial.
And here's where you know who your great competitors are, because silence is the hardest thing to do balance beam to. I used to make my athletes practice in silence.
Wow.
And we had more errors when they practice in silence. So it's really difficult. But she just nailed that flight series, so give kudos.
Well, Sharon had a 9.9 in her collegiate debut early in the season here in Memorial. She's competed 6 times since then, still waiting to get back to that 9.9 mark. And this music has resumed, but this is certainly not her music. So still a challenge for Sharon to block out and just focus on one element at a time.
That's right. Just keep doing what you do every day. You can turn this into a hip hop routine.
A little different than what we're used to hearing for Sharon.
Yeah. She's got it. She's got it.
Here comes the dismount.
All right, well, we got to give her kudos, because that was a hard situation to overcome, and she did it.
What a resilient performance by the sophomore. She did not compete her freshman year, so not so much experience to lean on, and yet she is able to handle the moment.
To pull off that triple flight when your music went out, that was incredible. And finish the routine strong. Pull that back. Good for her. That took a lot of
gutsy and gritty. Again, the words Garrison likes to use. Let's see what the next gymnast for Arkansas can do in that regard. It is Maddie Walagora, that 6-year senior. Excuse me, this is Maddie Jones. We got back-to-back Maddies going for the Razorbacks, and they both had career highs last week.
Very nice opening pass.
This is another one of those 3-pass routines. They tell us she has a absolutely rigorous training plan. She is never, ever tired, even for the last pass.
If you look at her artistry, too, I just love it. I mean, all the way down to her fingers, her arms, her elbows. She's just very artistic in the way she dances. 4.5 front layout. Just a beautiful athlete to watch. Oh, I love that. I like unique choreography. You know, so many times you see the same things over and over, and when their choreography is different, unusual, it's just exciting for the crowd and the judges.
Well, Arkansas is known for their floor routine. This has absolutely been their strongest event so far this year, and they take the great pride in what they call the floor party. It's easy to do at home. They wanted to see it travel on the road. They don't have their signature hype man. They don't have that Bud Walton Arena crowd, but they are still creating their own energy. We saw Maddie just do that.
Let's look at this again. The opening pass, 4.5, beautiful. And then second pass, 4.5 front layout. And number 3.
Like we said, no signs of fatigue for Maddie Jones.
Beautiful routine.
Sharon Lee matching a season best, a career best 9.9, even with all those difficulties. Major kudos to Sharon Lee in the 3 spot. Now we go to a freshman, Chesney Bennett, who's maybe holding her breath that her music hangs on.
That's right. You know, I always think she's so close to the end on her triple flight, but she nails it every time, so consistency.
She stays on her toes, she keeps us on ours. We know how it goes.
Beautiful stretch. If you notice her arm position, it keeps her perfectly balanced. We talked about artistic performance on the floor, where you're seeing it now on the balance beam. Sometimes those things that look not so difficult are difficult, actually, on the beam. And there's the pike gainer.
Wow. Stunning
was a great routine
by Chesney Bennett. She's gone a 9.75 in 3 of her last 4 outings, Leah. I think that's going up tonight.
I tell you what, this was a great routine. Look at this triple flight. Just amazing. Solid as a rock, and the gainer dismount. Stuck. Nice routine.
Now we go to Maddie Walagora. She follows Maddie Jones, who had that 9.875. And we'll see the same first pass here as we just saw Maddie Jones do. That's one of those really incredibly difficult first passes. It is an E skill. Lots of points on the table.
Well, these athletes know how to defy gravity, so I think we might see that from this young lady. Nice first pass. All right, she's got some powerful music here. Definitely something to tap your foot and dance to. Cute choreography there.
How do you
the
not
leap
smile?
combo we talked about, there was very nice. That was a bonus combination there. Maybe we'll catch it on the replay. Cute routine.
How do you not smile watching Maddie compete this? I love how she says she just had more to give to the sport, deciding to take that 6th year of eligibility. You absolutely see that she did have more. I love watching her elevate this season.
I tell you, those 5th year seniors really bring that experience to the table, and it's been so helpful to all the teams. Nice last pass there. Nice routine. Okay, let's look at that first pass again for the Razorbacks. Front layout, front full and a half. Very nice. And look at this switch sleep, wolf full, bonus combination there on the floor.
Now we have Skylar Akila-Wilhelm on the beam, and look how her teammates have set her up. Back-to-back 9-9s. Chesney Bennett blowing her previous season high out of the water.
It's amazing for a freshman to get in there and go 9-9, right? So we got Killer Wilhelm up on the beam now.
No problem on that acro series. She fell there last week, had to repeat the skills. No issues this time around.
That was really a fluke, I think, for her last week, and she's so beautiful up there. I just love, again, her artistry on the beam, her dance, her focus off the beam. Switch sleep, little fouette there, combination. She's got a little country going on, doesn't she?
This Kentucky lineup likes their country. Here comes the dismount.
Side aerial, full and a half. Oh, what a little hopper. Think that could be another 9-9.
The scores are building here in Lexington, and another great routine by another experienced gymnast. Fifth-year senior, once again, coming up clutch for Kentucky. And from all that experience, we go to a true freshman in Jocelyn Robertson, but she did have a 9.975 on the floor last week. That was a program record, a freshman record, and her coach says she is bound and determined to get that perfect 10. Keep your eyes on the first pass. That is the only place she had a deduction last week, is right here.
Double layout. Again, I think the leg position is going to cost her a deduction there, but it was huge, which is part of the game. If you can get up there and give yourself time to rotate, I would just like to see those legs tighter. But she is full of excitement, full of energy. She's going to be a strong force to reckon with down the road.
Absolutely. I love the details in this routine, the toe points, the arms, so elegant, making that 4'8" frame look as long and as tall as possible. It's hard to do.
It is hard to do. You know, sometimes the shorter you are, your center of gravity is lower, so you can rotate faster than someone that's tall. So she has that to her advantage a little bit.
She's ranked 16th in the NCAA on the floor.
Coach is ready here. Double tuck, stuck. I love that ending. Oh, wow, look at that. Oh, what a great ending.
Such a showman. Jocelyn Robertson, a treat that we were all just treated to.
Look real hard at her legs here in this double leg, just a little bit bent all the way around. Just see how picky the judges are going to be tonight, but they'll have to take into consideration this great routine.
And as they do, we'll see how they judge. Isabella Magnelli, the senior beam queen for Kentucky, still in search of her first perfect 10. Her teammates posting incredibly high scores, but still looking to break that 9-9 mark.
You know, she can't focus on that 10. She has to focus on her routine. But look at that perfect triple flight series.
She's ranked 4th in the country for a reason. She is nearly flawless every single week.
She truly is one of the most beautiful gymnasts I have seen in my career. She just has fantastic lines to her dance, posture, toe point. She's got the whole deal.
Well, Coach Garrison certainly agrees with you.
Perfect front aerial.
He says she is a special beam worker. He's had some incredible ones over the years, but she is on another level. You're seeing that right now.
And she's a special young lady. People that know her, she's done such great things with her teammates and people around her. She's just a joy to have on any team, and that could be it.
And the tears have already started in memorial for the Beam Queen's final routine on her favorite event in her favorite arena. We knew it would be emotional, but Leah, what a performance.
I tell you what, it was magnificent. Magnelli up there tonight.
Wow.
I think she knew as soon as she landed.
So much
The crowd is-
anticipation in Memorial right now. We're used to some 10 banners and maybe some teammates calling for it, but this might be the moment
Oh my gosh.
for Isabella Magnelli.
995 by the other judge.
She'll fall right in the middle, but wow, what a spectacular routine. Her coach told us he thought there'd be not a single dry eye in the house if she hit that 10. She'll come just a little short, but still an emotional moment in Memorial. We switch you now to Frankie Price in her own right. Absolutely a fantastic floor routine, and we want to give it its attention that it deserves because it is fabulous. I love watching her here. She had a 9.9 last week, a seasoned performer for the Razorbacks.
She is amazing. I tell you, you talk about height on tumbling passes. I think I could walk underneath her while she's up there. And she's dropping it while it's hot on this floor routine. We missed a little of that because of the beam celebration, but watch these tumbling passes. Beautiful, perfectly done. She's definitely got a crowd pleaser. Little Snoop.
We asked her coach how the floor party travels. What do you do to keep that energy high? And she says you just do. You have to bring it with us. We're not only successful on the floor because we're at home, we're successful
What a
because
great routine.
of that. The talent, the technique, the pizzazz. Frankie Price bringing everything she has.
I tell you, I can't imagine when she does this at home because this routine is just amazing. So much fun, so much excitement, so much amplitude. It's got it all.
So we are going to have two more incredibly high scores for each team here in this third rotation. As we said, Isabella Magnelli has posted a 9.975 that matches her career best, but she had not hit that mark. I kind of can't believe it since 2023. So it's been a long time coming just to get back to that marker. Big confidence booster for the senior to do that at this point in the year. Now we show you Jillian Perkaski, the senior, up as an exhibition routine on the beam. She has competed here a couple of times this year. Stays in the lineup, and we might stay on the beam. Wow.
Whoa. Well, as you know, there'll be a big deduction for that. Not only did she have a balance error, but she kept trying to correct, and every time you do that, it costs you more points. But it wasn't a fall. Jillian has beautiful leaps. Another one with beautiful presentation. Kentucky has been outstanding on the beam this year.
Well, they have done even better tonight. The season high score inside Memorial happening on senior night. What an incredible display by the Cats. A 49.525 is what will go down as the beam score for Kentucky tonight. That is just off their all-time high score.
And look at that floor score for the Razorbacks. We
Neck
have got
and neck here in Lexington. We told you every 10th would matter. That's absolutely been the case as Frankie Price posts a 9.925. Arkansas not quite able to replicate that 49.6 that hit last week. Again, that was just a spectacular performance by them. But still, a 49.5 I think any coach in this conference would take any day of the week.
Absolutely. And you know what, Maggie? We have half a tenth separating these two teams. They are working hard to try to get into that SEC championship.
Unbelievable.
It still just breaks my heart that one of these great teams is going to get left at home. I hope they will reconsider this next year.
Certainly there will be conversations that have to be had because all 9 SEC teams are in the top 20 right now. Arkansas, lowest ranked, and they're 16th in the country. They could potentially get a seed at nationals, not just go to nationals, but
absolutely.
They have everything on the table for them in that bigger nationals conversation, and yet the conference championships still in question.
I'll tell you another thing. We used to call the SEC championship a mini nationals. It is not a mini nationals anymore. It is just equal to the national championship. I mean, you've got 10 teams you know, that good competing just like they do at nationals. We used to say it was easier once you got to nationals. So the SEC conference is amazing. The athletes are amazing. And I tell you, everybody should tune in to the SEC Gymnastics Championship in about 2 weeks, I think.
Well, hey,
on
look
the
at
SEC
you,
Network.
a TV professional, because coming up next, we're talking about that road to Birmingham. It's senior night in Lexington. We told you this one could go wire to wire, and that's exactly what's happening. Kentucky came into this meet looking to send 6 seniors off with a win. They are performing their tails off right now.
Oh my gosh,
And
yes.
for Arkansas, their head coach Jordan Weaver telling us this week, everything they want to achieve is still possible, still on the table, still in front of them. They're on track to do that right now. We talked so much about the NQS scores. The scoring tonight has set these teams up well to do what they want to do.
Absolutely. Both teams have increased their RQS on every single event so far. Every single event, they've increased their score. So it's going to come down to the wire here, the last 2 events. Every little mistake, we are half a tenth between teams right now.
And big picture here, more than just the win or the loss, it is these NQS scores. Top 6 scores, 3 of them have to be away. You drop your best one, that's your NQS score. That's what these teams are after right now. You need to be in that 197 range, and we gave you the scores at the beginning of the meet of what these teams were each hoping to drop. Right now, they're on pace to do that. Arkansas and Kentucky on pace to do what they needed to do to improve their NQS. But it all comes down to this. It's not just a saying. Seriously, it is all coming down to the 4th rotation, and that is The SEC is bringing the drama this year, and tonight has been no different in Lexington. We are neck and neck as we enter the 4th rotation, and check out these team totals right now. These are the scores we will be looking for in this final rotation in order for each team to improve their national qualifying score. That's the big goal, of course. Everybody also likes to leave with a W. For Arkansas, that would mean a road win. They would love to add one of those to their resume. And for Kentucky, it's been an emotional night. 6 seniors on this roster, all 6 competing this evening, all 6 really rising to the occasion. We just saw Isabella Magnelli put up a 9.975 on her signature event, but she is expected back on the floor in this next rotation as well. And for Arkansas, we will show you Jocelyn Robertson one more shot at a high all-around score as the season continues to progress for the freshmen. These 2 teams have been performing at a high level all year, but tonight has really felt like they've both really understood the assignment. They know what's on the line, and they're executing.
I tell you, dramatic is exactly the right word, because we have excitement. Listen to this crowd. The athletes are fired up. We are half of a tenth between these teams, and this is what we're talking about, fans. This is the SEC. You know, it's coming down to the wire. It has happened all year with teams beating other teams unexpectedly, and then they bump somebody up or bump somebody down. It's just been a wild year, so let's look at that again.
Here is the current score for both teams. As you said, Leah, neck and neck. We are right up on it at the end of this meet, but you can't ask for anything better. You know it's going to be good anytime it's a top 20 matchup, and then you add in all these extra storylines, right? The end of the regular season, the senior night emotion, everything that's going on in this meet makes it feel like this in here, and that's why you play the game.
I tell you what, it feels like a championship event right now. I mean, it's just wild. The excitement is great, and these last 2 events, I think, are going to be amazing, so stay tuned.
Well, Arkansas coming up on the beam. They had 4 season-high scores last week. 4 out of their 6 gymnasts put up the best score of the season last week. And then Kentucky to end on floor with this environment, this crowd, multiple seniors in the lineup. It's going to be a wild 4th rotation.
It sure is, and exciting is the word, and we are about ready to kick it off here.
And at the same time, if you're about to go up on beam, you do still have to take a breath.
Correct.
And you can't listen to us, get you hyped, get you excited, tell you how awesome this environment is, how electric you should be.
We all know that nobody wants to compete beam last, but the best coaches will tell you how they prepare their team. It's any event, anytime, anywhere, any place, any condition. You cannot say, oh, we're last on beam, that was the problem. Nope, you just got to go out there and do what you know how to do.
Love it. Well, this is Callista Gemiao, who had a 9.775 on the floor. She has been so consistent for the Razorbacks here, though. She's been the leadoff since her freshman year. She's a senior, and she has led this off every meet since her freshman year.
And you know what I love about her? If you're watching her, she looks at the audience. She looks at the judges. She's making facials. She is not just stuck between the beam and her. She is performing up there, and I love that. It's hard to teach that because they want to look at the beam constantly. But she is just bringing the audience in, bringing the judges in with her cute little facials. I love it.
Well, her teammates and her coaches say Callista really has a calming effect, not just in her own gymnastics, but that's contagious amongst the team. And when the stakes are this high, you need to be able to rely on that. She's doing an excellent job of that right now.
Round off. Wow. Half stuck. That was an excellent routine.
You cannot ask for much better from your leadoff in this final rotation. The stakes are so high, and yet she's delivering on every count.
Flight series, layout, standing layout. That's hard to do. And the full and a half to a stick. That was a stick. That was a true stick.
Gorgeous. Kentucky's leadoff on the floor is Jillian Perkaski, one of those seniors we've seen a couple times tonight, but the last time she'll get to do this one in Memorial.
Jillian, you know, she has the look of a dancer, but oddly enough, she didn't come from a dance background. She just likes it, but she's very expressive in this routine. Front layout, front full to open with.
She too matched her season high last week. She had a 9.85 here on the road at Georgia.
There's the switch ring, split full combo, very difficult. Again, not something you'd be looking for as a bonus element, but that was very hard what she did there. Oh, look at the facials. That's what I love. You got to perform. I used to tell my team, you know, people are paying money to watch you. You got to perform.
Well, tonight has absolutely been worth the price of admission.
Yes, absolutely. Here's her last pass. Huge double tuck. Wow, that's a stick. You know, last week, she was so high on that, I was worried about her landing, but she stuck that like a rock. So there's the first pass. Beautiful execution. There's the switch ring leap and the split full. And then look how high that double tuck is. Very nice routine. I tell you what, Mags, it's going to be hard to pick a winner here.
Well, I don't think Maddie Wallagora is going to make that decision any easier. She already has a 9.925 on her belt from the bars event earlier when she was the team's anchor. Here she is on the 2 spot for the beam. This is how experienced she is here. She was crooked last week. Her toes came all the way off, and she stayed on the beam without so much as a wobble. She is just steady as they come here.
You know, again, like her floor routine, she's very expressive, beautiful dance. Okay. Here comes, I believe, her flight series. Solid as a rock.
It's a 9.925 for Gemiao in the anchor spot, or excuse me, in the leadoff position.
Side aerial there. Perfectly done. That split, not quite a split. You know, we talked about we're looking for fine lines of delineation between the two, and you know, her split just wasn't really a 180 that I'd like to see. I'm sure she's capable.
Unique dismount here. She stuck it last week.
Round off 4.5. Super nice routine for the Hogs. Layout. Let's watch the dismount. Round off, 4.5.
Well, Jillian Prakaski set the table by matching her season high with a 9.85. What will Miss Magnelli have in store for us on the floor?
Run 4.5 back layout. She always comes up with that big smile.
One of those real true performers we always talk about. She embraces everything that comes with this floor routine. So much energy, and like you always say, drawing the crowd in, getting the fans involved.
Absolutely, and that leap combination she just did was huge. I hope we caught that, but we will show you. Again, one of those bonus combinations that people overlook because of the big tumbling pass. And again, remember, judges here at this 9.8, 9.9 level are looking for little tiny deductions. Nothing big, but it makes a difference. Strong finish here, hopefully for Bella. Huge double pike. There we go. Nice stuck landing. She was happy with it. Her leaps are just amazing.
She's trying to make it to the end before the tears return.
Yeah.
For the senior, a fan favorite on this roster.
She has been a crowd favorite pretty much her whole career.
And a perennial power in the sport. You're seeing that right here again.
And you know, you always love to see it to those kids that are inspirational leaders on their team, and she sure has been.
Her coach says she can be such a great and such a loud vocal leader because of how genuine she is. Everything she does is genuine. Check out this candle mount here. Obsessed with this by Priscilla Park.
We're going to teach you that after the meet.
Yeah, I need a little extra help to do that. But I love this entire routine. Her switch leap series here will also be incredible to watch, so keep your eyes out for that.
Another thing I want you to look for is that they work on a high toe, and she does that. So you should be all the way up on the ball of your foot on these turns, and when your toes are pointed and you're on your toes, not flat-footed. Beautifully done. Look at her toe point. I love it.
The details.
The detail.
Keep your eyes on those toes here because you'll see she'll stay only on her left foot. An incredibly difficult pass.
Switch leap, switch leap. That's a combo the judges look real hard at for that 180 split, which she was able to make. Love that artistry. Tell a story.
Well, the story of this beam rotation by Coach Weber has been the team wanted to get their minds away from the tenths.
Right.
Right? The pressure of the scores and focus on making it fun. Make the meet feel like practice.
There we go.
Excellent execution by Priscilla doing just that. They took some of that intensity away from the meet by playing a little bit of a scoring game. It's internal. And you can see how much this team relies
Look at that toe point.
Wow.
Look at this dismount. Side aerial, 4.5, stick. I tell you what, we may have a tie. I don't know. I don't know how to pick a winner here.
It has been fantastic. So 2 9.925s to start for the Razorbacks. We'll get you Priscilla's score as soon as we have it. We do know Isabella Magnelli posted a season high 9.9, first time hitting that mark this year. So Kentucky's 2 for 2 on season best so far. What can Delaney Rodriguez deliver? Great start.
She's another performer. She likes to express herself and does it very nicely.
Well, she broke into that 9.9 range last week. She had 7 straight floor routines in the 9.85 range and finally broke free into the 9.9 range last week. She, of course, is hoping to keep that going here as her team wants another big score on the floor.
Well, Delaney is another one of those that looks into the crowd and performs.
Seniors
her
behind
favorite
her,
parts.
taking it all in. Isabella, Skylar, Mackenzie, and Jillian. I mean, it's the whole senior class. Haley Davis right behind her.
It's a whole team. That's senior
cheering
class.
on a sophomore who has absolutely stepped up. She was the leadoff here most of the season, just moved down into this third spot last week.
All-around winner a week ago, I believe. Here we go. 4.5. That beautiful straddle leap there at the end. All right, let's look at those passes again for D-Rod. Double tuck, stuck. Front 4.5 to that beautiful straddle jump. Oh yeah.
Delaney had
Working
a season high on the bars already. She might be able to do that again on the floor until we have her score. Let's all sit back and get ready for Miss Callie Swaney. This is another incredible routine. She also had a season high last week, and she also does one of those really intense triple series. Perfect. Look at the sharpness of her arms. I mean, just precision.
Here comes the acro series, a requirement. 2 back handsprings to a back layout. Little balance error there with the arm. They will take that. Score just went up for Rodriguez, 9.925 on floor.
That matches her season and career high that she just posted last week. D-Rod getting hot at the right time for Kentucky.
Kelly ready for the dismount. Very nice routine. I think she's happy.
Slight balance check there by Swaney. Won't be too much of a deduction, but we will keep our eyes on that as we bring you back to the floor for another senior in this lineup, Skylar Killow-Wilhelm. Her 5th year, but her first at Kentucky. Leah, we were talking during warm-ups. I think everybody in Big Blue Nation wishes they could have had her here for more than just this 1 year. Because this style, this Cirque du Soleil, this attitude, it's just contagious, and it's so fun to watch, easy to root for.
She's been a really good addition for the Wildcats. She transferred from Washington for her 5th year. UK assistant coach Chad used to coach her, so a little connection there. But she said when she came here, she just knew this was the place for her. She loved the culture, loved the way Kentucky was doing things. And I just love her unique body positions. All these little gymnasts try to emulate.
One in particular we know and love.
Just beautiful toe points, her extension, just lovely athlete to watch.
Her coach always compliments her flair. It shows up more in some events than others, but absolutely you can tell on this event specifically.
Wow, that was a perfect last pass. I love this finish. I do that every day, don't you, Maggie?
That's how I start the morning, right? A cup of coffee. No, Skylar is an incredible athlete. Very few people can do what she does, and it's been another incredible night for her in the blue and white. Leo, I think she would obviously loved her time at Washington, but she's had so much fun being at this school, at this level, the SEC, the attention that comes with it. It's not for everyone, and Skylar has really embraced it this year. Now,
Well,
Cammie
it's true
Weaver,
what they say. It really is different.
Yes, and it really does mean more, right? Don't
It
they tell
means
us that? Well, Cammie Weaver also means a whole lot to this team. A 9.85 was a season best for her a week ago. She can-
Beautiful opening there. To Echo Series.
This is one of those gymnasts who has to slow down and just take it one at a time. Her coach says nerves can make her rush this a little bit here, but she's fully capable of an incredibly high score. Just has to take it slow.
Sartorial, little balance. Oh, I thought she was falling, but that was a drop down to her knees. That is a hard move, believe it or not.
Oh, I believe it.
Anything on balance beam is difficult. That was the ring jump. The judges are pretty difficult with that, but hers looked really nice. All of the Razorbacks have really nice extension on the beam and nice choreography. A little step there. Too bad. She had a nice routine going, but as we said, 1/10 or 2 is going to make a difference, but a very nice routine for
Because
her.
look at that beam lineup for Arkansas right now. Everything on there is currently a 9-9. And then for Kentucky, check out the floor lineup. You did start with a 9.85, but they've had 3 straight 9.9s or better, and they are setting up Kreslin Burrows for another huge score. She's more than capable. She elevates the energy here. This is her favorite event, her favorite routine.
Kreslin is quite the performer.
She's had a 9.95 the last 2 weeks.
That was
wow,
huge double pike, huge. Air traffic control was called on that one. I tell you what, Arkansas has moved ahead by 0.02 of a point. This is going down to the wire. She is such a performer.
Absolutely, and it comes across in her scoring, but it can't get lost how difficult her tumbling is as well. And 17 of her 20 career floor routines have gone a 9.9 or better. 17 out of 20.
Well, she's quite the performer, and if you see her when she's not doing floor, she's always dancing. Well, so far, 2 perfect tumbling passes.
She has 1 more to go, and it is so difficult. You normally see it as a gymnast's first pass on the floor. She does it last because of her degree of endurance.
Well, you really have to train that to do your most difficult in your last pass. You have to train that pretty much year round or year long.
Here we go.
Very nice. I think she should be happy with that.
Kreslin
The crowd's happy.
Blowing the roof off the place here in Memorial Coliseum, and what a shot of Jocelyn Robertson trying to tune it all out, getting ready to go on the beam. Wow.
Well, this crowd is into it. This is a huge moment.
To put a
Roberson,
freshman in this position. Jocelyn Robertson, a freshman anchoring on the road when the result of the meet will ultimately come down to this routine. The crowd chanting 10 for Kentucky's previous floor routine. She is in the zone right now. Look at this.
You know,
focus.
Jocelyn is a seasoned competitor on the circuit before she came to college, so this is not bothering her at all. This is just...
And Kreslin Burrows gets it done. A perfect 10 on the floor by the sophomore. She has been so close so many times, and tonight it happens for her. Again, Jocelyn Robertson is up here executing a nearly flawless beam routine.
Well, we may see another 10.
Wow. Kreslin Burrows gets
tough.
it done.
She is solid as a rock. She is not bothering her whatsoever. What a competitor for Jocelyn Robertson.
Robertson won beam at Olympic trials this year,
Well,
so
now we know why.
she has been in an insane environment as she calls the Hogs. Trust me, that's not why Big Blue Nation is going nuts right now. Incredible dismount as well. We could have them back to back.
I tell you, 10 for 10, it could be. It could be. Boy, that was, and you know what? An athlete that can do that under that kind of competitive pressure, Those are the ones I want on my team.
Well, Coach Weber told us this week, Jocelyn loves gymnastics more than anyone she has ever coached. What a compliment and what a performance as her coach congratulates her. But for right now, we go back to Kentucky, that beautiful 10-0 for Crestline Bros.
And with that, Kentucky has gone back in the lead again by 1/10 of a point.
And what a way to set things
Little over
up
a 10th.
for your fifth-year senior getting ready to anchor it on the floor. It's Haley Davis, who has been an incredible competitor for all 5 years in Lexington, and right now you get to see ladies of the 80s one final time coming off of that moment.
You know, and I just want to say for this young lady, I have watched her in practice, and she's one of the hardest working athletes. She never stops, but when she was a freshman, she came in, dedicated this routine to her dad who had passed, and for one last time, I'm going to lift this up to her dad. Woo! Wow. That was huge.
And managing the emotions of that, doing it one last time for us here in Memorial Coliseum, and then coming up with a stick on that first pass. Haley has gone 3 for 3 multiple times this year. We'll see what she does.
Well, she's
tonight.
another one that has huge leaps. I mean, for her size, she gets way off the ground. Beautifully executed. Every young one should try for that.
Yes.
4.5 front layout, perfectly done. Oh my gosh, this is
wild.
Unbelievable.
Jocelyn's score did come in at a 9-9.
Wow.
So Kentucky with the edge right now. Should get the
Barely.
win here on senior night, but again, it's coming down to the very end as we watch Miss Haley.
All right, let's see what she can do here. Her last meet at home, huge double tuck.
Perfect.
I think the crowd will come down for this one. Haley has worked her way up that lineup in her 4 years here. 5 years. There's Dad watching her. Dad's looking down, so happy.
This is a moment to remember, not just for Haley Davis, but for this program. What an incredible night for the Wildcats. Haley Davis, the cherry on top.
Look how high that tumbling is. Just unbelievable.
Not
what
many
a routine.
mistakes.
Well, I didn't see any.
Once again, the Razorbacks are in a position where they have a gymnast competing on the beam, albeit it is an exhibition, but again, this environment just wild as the crowd once again chants for a 10.
A 10.
We are waiting.
If it comes up. We get a 10 from one judge.
And a 9.95 by the other. Haley Davis embracing her coaches, her teammates, and the tears return in memorial. An emotional senior night.
It sure is. And I tell you what, Maggie, we have seen some outstanding gymnastics tonight. It might be one of the better meets I've ever seen in person, just for the sheer, it was routine for routine. Excellent, just excellent all the way around.
A 9.975 for Haley Davis. That is a career high for her.
Well, both teams have gotten what they came for, which was to improve that RQS score, and boy, did they do it, not just by a 10th or 2. They knocked it out of the park. I think season highs for both teams.
We always say iron sharpens iron, and a lot of times we mean it in your own team, right, in your own locker room, but tonight I think it can also apply to these teams going head-to-head in this incredible environment with so much at stake, and to just keep hitting after hitting after hitting, and this is the result. A 197.925 for Kentucky and a 197.725 for the Razorbacks. Of course, only one can win, but both teams are going to leave Lexington happy with what those numbers do for their chances at the postseason. Before everything's official, Kentucky has one more exhibition. It's another senior, Mackenzie Wilson, who has gone every single meet on the vault. She's been a specialist there. Now we get to see her on the floor on her senior night. What a way to close out a spectacular meet.
You know, she always competed on floor, and Kentucky just has a few new ones that have bumped her out, but I tell you what, she's never stopped fighting for that spot and could compete if they needed her. So she's been a great asset for Flora then during her career.
A 49.725 is just off Kentucky's all-time best score on the floor. Their best all-time is a 49.750, so just a smidge off, but of course it is their best of the year, and just an incredible performance by the Cats. Obviously, Arkansas very pleased with that beam score as well.
I believe it might be a best for Arkansas as well.
We have too many papers. Yes, that is a best for Arkansas on the beam.
Well, how fantastic for both teams. Just an excellent gymnastics meet.
Top to bottom excellence by the Wildcats and by the Razorbacks. We had two gymnasts competing in the all-around, Jocelyn Robertson and Skylar Killer-Wilhelm. The senior comes away with the win on her home turf tonight. Killer-Wilhelm with that 39.625, but Jocelyn Robertson pretty happy with that 39.525, we have to imagine as well. Things are not done in Lexington yet. We are on the heels of a perfect 10 by Kreslin Bros. Hear from her next. Jenny Hansen, Raina Worley, Mackenzie Wilson, and Kreslin Bros. 4 gymnasts in the history of this program have done what Kreslin did tonight, a perfect 10. How does it feel to join that company?
Oh my goodness, I am so honored. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that I've been given this opportunity to go out there and just compete. I love competing floor. It's my favorite. I get so excited, especially in a crowd like this. Like, who wouldn't want to compete floor here?
Well, I told Maggie, every time I ever see you, you're dancing.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean beam, floor, bar, you're always dancing around. So where did that come from? As a child, you just love to perform?
Yeah, I've always loved to perform. Floor has always been like my favorite to compete. But growing up, I would look up hip hop routines to learn. And I wasn't the best dancer, but just doing that and practicing that, I absolutely love dancing. I will be dancing probably every second you see me.
Yes, we can confirm that is true. And how about this? A 197.925, a team high score for your group tonight.
Yeah.
Top to bottom excellence. What do you take away from this performance?
You know, I'm just going to take away just the hard work we put through. We have been in the gym working our butts off. We have been doing all we can to just achieve our highest goals. And one of our mottos this whole year has been fight. And for a while we were like, okay, fight, but now we're like, okay, we need to put a meaning to that word. Fight doesn't just mean the word fight, it means what are we doing to fight? What are we doing? We're not in this game to try not to lose, we're in this game to win, and that's really what we did tonight.
You did that exactly tonight, and you fought for the seniors. Isabella Magnelli with that 9.975 on the beam. Haley Davis, the same on the floor. Top to bottom, 6 seniors who performed at a high level tonight. What did this night mean for them?
Oh my gosh, I know it meant a lot to them. You know, these are the best seniors I could have ever asked for my sophomore year, truly. I'm going to miss them so much. We're all going to miss them so much. It's not going to be the same without them, but they have just taught us so much when it comes to gymnastics, just as humans in life. They've given us so many, great advice all in all.
I'd like to ask one more question with that in mind. What would you like to leave to this program by the time you're in their position?
Yeah, I would tell people to just keep having fun, really. This sport should be fun. It shouldn't be something you come in and dread. You should have a great time, and obviously there's going to be hard days. Yes, there's going to be hard days. There's going to be extreme highs, extreme lows, but just coming in and trying your best, even if that your best is 30%, give all of that 30%. Just know you're doing what you can each day.
Kreslin Bros, the poster child for having fun. A perfect 10 tonight. Go celebrate with your teams, those seniors, a win on senior night.
Yeah.
Congrats again,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What a night for the...
I told you, it's one of the better gymnastics meets I've seen. It just was full of excitement, routine for routine, all the way down to the wire, all night long. A huge, excited crowd. It was amazing. Look at this. I mean, it's just amazing.
We said from the get-go this was going to be a high-stakes meet. It was going to come down to every little tenth. That's exactly what happened. We're at a crucial part of the year, and guess what? We're not done yet. Kentucky will end the regular season at number 4 Friday. Florida next Friday night at 6:45. Arkansas gets to return home for their senior night at Bud Walton, taking on Missouri. Leah Little, an excellent meet by you. This is our last one of the season.
I know.
What do you take away from tonight?
It was just so exciting, and as we said earlier in the show, if one of these teams gets left behind, I'm going to be sad because they both deserve to be there. But, again, the conference is so strong. Just keep watching those meets every Friday night. We don't have many left, and we'll see who makes the top 8 to the SECs.
Well, Arkansas put their best foot forward tonight. A 197.725 will absolutely help their NQS. And again, just an electrifying performance in Memorial. The last time Friday Night Heights makes a stop in this city this year. But you know we'll be back with you next week and again next season for more gymnastics. Leah Little, our whole crew. I'm Maggie Davis. Thanks for watching. So long from Lexington.